Snowy. Tadhg, how you doing? Are you alright?
Alright, Dave, how's it going?
I thought I might catch you out there by jumping in too quickly. Thought you might be out having a pee or making the kettle or putting on the kettle or something. Basically, he's not here, but I'm not there. Basically, he's in Cork and I'm in Dublin, and it's 51552. And I want to look at something now because he's an expert on the Leaving Cert results. No, he isn't really, but we'll throw it into that because it does bring one back. Next Wednesday, Red Letter Day for 56,000 students who sat the Leaving Cert in June. By the way, I'm sure the two of us, you and me, Tadhg, wish everybody the very best of luck in the results, don't we?
Oh, very best of luck, lads. Yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it, absolutely, yeah. Anyway, after all the celebrations, it's going to be time for the annual scramble for college places and accommodation and all that goes with starting college. Great time in life, but there are a few hazards along the way, like poverty, hunger and cramming for exams, etc. At least that's sort of your sort of memories would be, wouldn't they, Tadhg? That's really it in a nutshell.
Well, I don't want to depress the nation, but yeah, there was a lot of kind of just scrimping and saving and borrowing people's cans. Borrowing people's cans was kind of the big one around the house, but yeah, I suppose I just say to people, just enjoy it, because it's the most ridiculous time of your life, without a doubt, hands down the most ridiculous time.
It is, and also goes very, very quickly, because a lot of the time you're only in there for about 7 months and you get about 5 months off in the year anyway. Hold on a second, we're talking to Tadhg Hickey here. Tadhg, you are comedian Tadhg Hickey that is part of the Cahoots gang, and last year the TV series The School premiered in RT2.
Yep.
And why are there 3 C's? I have to ask. It's not just spelled CAHOOTS, it's CCCAHOOTS.
It started off as a kind of an anagram of all the guys involved in the group's names.
Oh, right.
So yeah, so it's that's what the 2 extra C's for. But to be honest, I don't know, we might actually change it going forward, because it's just causing us unnecessary hassle all over the place.
Because people like me ask these silly questions.
Well, not just you though, everyone's at it. So.
Right, yeah, see. So you obviously are very intelligent and very brainy. I bet you studied English and philosophy in college or something, did you?
How did you know? Oh my God.
Do you know something weird? That's what I studied too. Well, that's what I studied at first. Then I went on to do really brainy stuff.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
And so did Ricky Gervais as well. We're in good company. Yeah.
Ricky, I didn't know that. What was I going to say? You were, I presume, UCC, were you?
I was UCC. Yeah. CAT had kind of they had long hours and proper courses and stuff, which didn't suit me at all. So right. Yeah.
By the way, the amount of people that do something for 3 years and realise, okay, now I'm going to really do what I want to do. It's like as though they made a mistake for 3 years. So you went on to do something else, did you?
I did drama and theatre studies, but I didn't even choose to do philosophy. To be honest, I started doing sociology, and after about a week and a half, I realised there was a girl that I really fancied doing philosophy, so I switched course.
That's as good a reason as any, yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually don't know what happened to her afterwards. I don't know, did I ever see her again, to be honest, but I loved philosophy, so I kind of stuck with that.
Wow, that's amazing, serendipitous.
I hope she's okay wherever she is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, just tell us about your living whatevers. First of all, you had been living at home, had you, when you were in secondary school maybe?
I was.
And then you left and lived with students.
I moved I'd say probably about 20 yards down the road, because I was actually living near College Road as it was, but I was too cool to live at home, so I moved out to the most depressing gaff in the developed world, and there was supposed to be 4 of us there, but it was ended up being, I'd say, about 9 or 10 at any given time. People
and
just
how
sleep on
many
couches
did it kind of officially fit? 4?
4 officially, right. Yeah.
Okay.
But there was danger signs from the word go, because the ceiling always looked a bit dodgy to me in the living room. It was kind of it looked kind of damp and stuff, and it all came to a head anyway one day when I was on my own at home, just watching, I think I was definitely watching something on RT anyway, and eating Cocoa Pops in my underpants, and the ceiling just kind of collapsed. Right.
Were there people living above it sleeping?
I don't know, I was just completely on my own.
You didn't care.
Everyone, all my housemates were presumably at their courses, but I had Greek and Roman civilization that day, so I just said I'd leave it off. Then the ceiling just caved in. It was actually very scary, because I presumed there was some sort of earthquake or something brewing. But
and did it cave in because of a lot of pressure from parties and things, do you think, or just it was a crap place?
I think it was just a crap place, and the word go, it just always looked like there was dampness and stuff, but I mean, nobody expected the ceiling to kind of come in. That has never happened to me subsequently anyway,
you were in a band either then or later on, right?
That's right. You played us.
Yeah, right, okay.
Hey.
Exit pursued by a bear.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
Good. Okay, now the point about all this is that I want to mention is here, were there all kinds of idiot morons playing guitars all night long, all day in your place, and was it really boring?
Oh my God, I even though I love we love music, but for me the end of a party's over when somebody whips out a guitar. I always felt, because you'd have music on, you'd be playing your CD or whatever, and you'd be chatting, you'd be drinking or whatever, and somebody would whip out a guitar
Yeah.
And then this kind of hush would go around the party, wouldn't it? You know, it's kind of...
Actually, to go back to Ricky Gervais, that goes back. Do you remember he used to take the guitar out to make people feel better when they got sacked?
True, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really acceptable, is it?
No, it's all... And it was like... It would end up in Wonderwall anyways, even though it starts off as something profound. It's kind of Wonderwall at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you're just like, I'm going CIT, like.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing about it is, then it's time like to go home. Oh gosh, you are home.
I'm home, and the ceiling's caved in.
And
like.
the ceiling is caved in. There's no cocoa puffs left.
No.
All right, so okay, so like, was it fun? Did you like the people that you shared the house with, even if you didn't know some of them some of the time?
I loved it. I mean, like, looking back at it now, it's like it's that ridiculous part of your life where you're actually comfortable with it being kind of ridiculous, and you don't really care that, like, you know, like when you're still at that kind of crack in your later 20s and early 30s, like, because you've chosen music or comedy as your career, like, it's kind of worrying. But in the heyday of college, no, it was great, and there's some like tremendous characters. Like, I was living with one girl, I suppose I'd probably better not name her in case she's kind of out there listening, whatever, but she, like, I think she was doing a proper course. She was doing like commerce or something like that, or business, and in the middle of the party she'd get like just a kind of a blast of the guilt that she should be kind of like doing more or whatever, and so she'd just get up and start cleaning spontaneously, like, so the party would be full on. There'd be like people lying around the place, like cans all over the place, and she'd just get up, marigolds on, hoover out, and away she'd go, like, start cleaning up.
But it's funny how guilt manifests itself. I mean, she should have actually just gone somewhere to study, shouldn't she?
Yeah, true.
You know, that's the last thing you want to do, though, isn't it?
I think cleaning was probably her way of kind of going, I'm in control here, you know. She'd throw on a wash as well, like she'd throw on her own wash, but then if we were kind of like nice to her, like, we'd get little bits and pieces kind of washed as well.
Good person to live with.
Oh yeah, she was great actually. Yeah, she was very good when the ceiling came in as well. She ultimately dealt with it, because I just left the contents of the ceiling on the ground, like, because I didn't know what to do really, you know. I thought it was the end of the world, like, it's like something from the Bible.
Do you know, is this one of these conversations like where I remember, like, you know, I did lousy in my leaving cert, but look how brilliantly I ended up, or something, or is it all kind of like, you look back with rose tinted glasses and all this kind of thing, and you're worried about the fact that if you pick a career, be it comedy, be it music or whatever, that makes you still live the student life into your 30s, that's a bit of a problem, is it, going forward, as they say?
I suppose you have to do, I know, like, put all jokes aside, you have to do what you want to do as well, though. Like, that's the main. Like, I couldn't have done anything else really, like, because I just, especially with comedy, and well, definitely with music as well, but definitely with comedy, you kind of go, people say, oh, fair play to you for sticking with it, as if, you know, you've some sort of stoical kind of nature, you've chosen this thing arbitrarily, and you're like, oh, I'll stick with this. It's just that I absolutely love it, like, so that's what I'd say to the young people of Ireland, like,
to the young people of Ireland, right? In the month,
love you, like,
in the month that we have. Okay, exactly, just on the subject then of one of the things that keeps you going, and, you know, getting roofs that don't cave in, and that money is needed. Tell me about your money in college. I mean, you know, I presume you had none.
Oh my God, yeah, because I was kind of an ordinary enough background, like, so I didn't have, there was one or two of my friends, not many, one or two of my friends had kind of parents that you could kind of call on, alright, but like, I didn't really, you know, I had to work for your money, so I just got jobs where I could, but like, yeah, I just did a lot of, I mean, I did art modelling at one point, alright, that was well paid actually.
What does that mean? Stand there in the nip?
You stand there in the nip, yeah. First of all, when I got lured into the job, I was standing there in my shorts and my t-shirt, which was kind of fine, like, and you'd make kind of animated poses for the students. But then I kind of got lured into this kind of, and that sounds grottier than it actually was, but there was just more money in doing this after kind of college class, where you just be in the nip, yeah, and they'd paint you.
And they bank you, I mean, on a piece of paper. They wouldn't put. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So hold on a second. You'd sit there on a stool, would you?
Oh, you could be standing up too. Jeepers, you could be standing up, yeah. And all the students be in a circle, you'd be in the middle. And I think the first night I came in, I was good to go at about 5 to 8. The class was starting, I think, a little after 8. But I just kind of said, look, I just need to drive into this, and there's no point in thinking about it. Got all the clothes off, stormed out into the middle of the classroom, and a guy came over to me and said, we're actually not starting for another 5 or 10 minutes. So,
but you were very enthusiastic.
Just go back to where you were getting changed there.
Okay, so like, I have to ask, is it alright to be sitting around the nip for a few hours and then meeting the people in the canteen?
It's actually fine, because like, once you kick off, it's like, it's the least sexual thing you've ever done in your life. You know, it's like, after about 2 or 3 minutes, you're literally like, what am I going to have for dinner? What's in the fridge? You know, it's just kind of you know.
What fridge? Okay, hold on a second. Yeah. And was the pay good?
The pay was actually pretty good, man. Yeah, it was under the counter, kind of. I think it was like, at one point it was like 75 quid a session, like. So it wasn't too bad.
That's pretty good.
I'd recommend it, like, for anybody out there trying to get into it.
For like an hour? Or
it's like about an hour and a half, yeah, sitting there in the nip, yeah. It was freezing, alright. Like that was my memory of it. It was particularly cold, right, which obviously wasn't great. Like for the old look, but yeah, I recommend it.
Okay, all right, you'd recommend it. Yeah, like, see, whatever happened to summer jobs? Do you remember the one in between the leaving cert and going to college? Like everybody, like they don't seem to. It's all Thailand now or whatever. You know,
that's true actually. And you know what else is kind of? I was thinking this morning from my own college days. You know the way you'd have like punks and you'd have hippies and you'd have like
tribes.
Yeah. That's kind of gone, because I still I'm around UCC a bit, like doing bits and pieces of work. You kind of walk through it, and it seems to me, I know I sound like an old man now, but everyone kind of seems to look a bit the same now. Are the tribes gone? Like,
I mean, I think you're right, but I mean, like, even in terms of music, there's no major movements for like so many years since you've just mentioned Wonderwall, since the old Britpop thing.
That's true.
Not an awful lot in the last 20 years or so. Anyway, let's just take a look at something else here, which is to do with just making more money even still for things. For instance, Rag Week and what happens there. You do need cash to just have a laugh, don't you?
You do. I remember it was his first year Rag Week. I just got to Rag Week, and it was like, I mean, that was the whole reason we went to college, really. Let's be honest, like that was the whole point of first year arts anyway. This idea of Rag Week was going to be this endless party, and like I had no money and none of my friends had any money, and we were reduced to going down the road of selling something. But then I didn't own anything either. I had a Mega Drive, right, that I tried to sell like from like the late 80s. Nobody was interested in it, so I ended up selling my mother's heater. So we had in our house this thing called a cubby hole. I don't know, does anyone remember this? But it's just a place where kind of items went to die, or nobody wanted them. So I went through the cubby hole and I found a heater in a box, and I sold it in this place in Cork called Cash Connectors. So that, it was this kind of like kind of the precursor to the cash for gold kind of period, you know. They'd take your unwanted gifts or your, I suppose, stolen gifts, and well, maybe not stolen actually, I don't want to get them into trouble if they still exist. I can't remember if they still exist or not, but and they'd give you a couple of bob. Sure, they gave me about, like, it was a great heater, like I thought, in the box and everything as new. I think they gave me about 20 quid for it, like, so I just bought a few cans out of that.
But you didn't feel too bad about the fact that once it was in that cubby hole in the house, it means like your mother just didn't want it. Nobody
would ever mention it again, like, and I obviously didn't bring it up because as time went on I started getting jobs and becoming a responsible human being to some extent. I just couldn't ever bring it up, like, 'cause it was just so weird. But there was actually I think there was actually a few of us that I was hanging out with started selling stuff in Cash Connectors, like, so big shout out to Cash Connectors, basically.
What about, did you cook? I mean, I presume you mentioned Cocoa Pops a few times, so that's what you basically ate.
Big Cocoa Pops, yeah.
Right, okay,
Cocoa Pops.
Okay, and that was about the size of it.
I had tablets, alright, multivitamins.
Tablets, multivitamins. You could buy them over the counter.
Yeah, and at the time when they were first coming on board, they were just kind of unswallowably large, you know, those kind of big, massive, kind of beige.
Unswallowably large. Fantastic. I love that.
That's first thing in the morning, for me. Like, you should hear me about 11 or 12. But yeah, they were just so big. You'd be most of the morning kind of swallowing them, and apparently they had all the vitamins, all everything you need in it, like, so you could just, that was you for the day then, like.
Good. All right, listen, let's get on to something else here, Ty, because we're talking, by the way, I presume at the end of all this you say, but they were the greatest years of my life. That was fantastic. You really should go to college if you get good results next Wednesday. That kind of thing, is it?
Yeah. They were great times though. Like, I definitely they were great times, and it's like, definitely choose something that you enjoy, because like, I spent first year, I suppose, just kind of messing around, but then by second year I was like, oh, hold on, I actually really like this stuff, like, and it definitely stands to me, like, you know, without sounding cheesy again, like the degree in philosophy though, like, you know, people constantly rib you like, oh, what did you end up doing with that? But like, everything I ever did afterwards in like writing lyrics for the band I was in or comedy or whatever, it completely helps you with all that stuff, you know. So it's
well, there are those who say, you know, choose a course that you love and you'll never work a day in your life, because
exactly,
that's because there's no job with that course. Anyway, let's move on to something else here to do with lectures themselves. Now, this could be very delicate. Did you ever go to a lecture?
I did, yeah.
Okay, tell me about the lectures. Were they good? Did you learn anything?
I did, like, unfortunately there was a Greek and Roman civilization lecture at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, so
you missed that.
I never went to that, sadly. No, I never went to that because that was too early, and so much so that I actually eventually went to the exam, and it was a small group, and I walked in the door and the lecturer said, "Who are you?" Which was a lovely moment, like, so I just said, look, I'm a very panicked man, like, but we went myself, my buddy used to sit down the back of lectures in English, and we were just chatting away, because we just didn't know, you know, when you come from school, you're just so immature, like, I just didn't understand that, you know, you get the role taken in school every day. So I was just sitting in the back of class chatting, and eventually this mature student just turned around to us and said, look, guys, you do realise that you actually don't have to come to lectures here.
And you took that to heart.
That was a revelation, like
revelation.
That rocked our world, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, these days, like, there's a big excuse. They used to have tutorials as well in the afternoon after lectures, and it's all now online. And like it's an excuse for, you know, a lot of academics to those that are not doing anything after 1 in the afternoon, you know. Anyway, you probably wouldn't have gone anyway. It doesn't make any difference.
No,
you know?
no.
So the music side of things, I presume everybody was setting up bands. I mean, even the 10 people in your house.
Literally, yeah. Literally. Well, everyone was actually. Come think of it, everyone was a singer. Do you remember that kind of scene as well? Like literally everyone, like, and I include myself in that. Before I could, like, I don't know if I could sing, but I just claimed to be a singer because I was kind of. You know, when you're doing English and stuff, and there's probably you're listening to the Doors and you're into Jim Morrison and stuff, you're just kind of going, oh well, I'll be a singer, like, because I'll be the poetry guy. Plus,
hold on, when it came to the band, what were you in the band?
Oh, singer, like.
Yeah, right. But did you play an instrument?
Nah.
Oh, right.
Nah. Well, we had a kind of a synth pop thing going, so I kind of claimed that I was kind of messing around with, you know, like kind of synths and stuff like that, but I wasn't playing them, like, you know.
Right.
And I had a laptop as well. I usually had a laptop in front of me, like.
So you were cheating?
No, I was kind of craft work without the ability, like,
exactly,
you know.
Right, okay. And so, like, before, like, when you did set up the band, was that part of college?
Yeah, we actually met in college. I got to college and I was in, like, a rock band, and there was another couple of guys in Super Bear. We weren't called in at that stage. They were into electronic stuff, and I just kind of left the rock band, and they were just kind of pottering around the old bar in UCC, and we found each other. And this interest in doing something electronic. Yeah.
And where did Exit Pursued by a Bear take you? Like, I mean, did you get many gigs? Did you do tours?
We did. We like at one point we had a lot of kind of we had a couple of national tours, and we put out 2 albums, and we got great reviews, but like no money, like, again, like, at all, you know. So we chose, I suppose, a kind of a niche enough thing within a niche thing, in terms of the style of it, so it was kind of tough kind of getting gigs in Ireland and stuff, but we did a bit of touring. We played with, like, Sultans of Ping and the Blizzards and stuff, Brezzy and stuff, and the Blizzards was really good to us and stuff, and
And did you, like, last for long? Did you go for the full 10 years or anything?
To be honest, it did. Like, it just kind of dragged on. We just wouldn't let it go. It was that it was that kind of act. That's what we were seeing, like, acts, particularly in Cork, but definitely in Ireland, just dropping off as the years went on. And we were always part-time. We'd meet up probably once a month, like, but we said if we just keep it going, do you know, the amount of, say, like, actors and actresses that kind of, like, really come into their own in their 40s and 50s, if we could just keep it going. So we're still technically alive. Like, if any of the lads are listening as well, I'm around, like, just give us a text.
Well, hold on a minute. Like, is there a point, a certain age? Like, I mean, you know this kind of 28 to 32, you have no money because you're going to everybody's wedding.
Yeah.
Or 28 to 36, whatever it happens to be. And it's all bloody presents, and it's all bloody having to go. And half them now are out of the country, which is even more expensive. But all that kind of, like, is there a certain time when you say, lads, the hat, let's throw it at it, because, you know, it's over?
Well, people were telling us to do that for years, but we just kept it going. But again, I suppose if you love what you're doing, like, you know, there just comes a point in it, I suppose, where you kind of have to go, hold on a second now, this isn't at all commercial what we're doing, and we're in a very small country, so unless we all, like, I tried to get all the lads to move to Germany, alright, one night, you know, just one night in a moment of kind of clarity. I thought, I was like, if we just all moved to Germany, and they were like, sure man, we're married and we've got full-time jobs and stuff, like, you're the only one who's still kind of in a band mentality.
And is that what, like, they all are they?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you're just out there still being a student to a point.
Exactly. I'm still in the middle of my arts degree psychologically, like, just trying to get them to commit, and sadly it never happened.
And by the way, when you finished the arts degree, was it good going up to, you know, going up to dramatic studies and theatre? You did a master's in that, did you? Yeah,
that was good. Well, by then I was kind of actually attending lectures and taking life a bit more seriously, or whatever, you know.
So you were that mature student giving advice to other people about lectures by that stage?
I actually was. Okay,
fair enough.
You don't have to go to lectures, guys.
Right, indeed. Okay, so do you remember the Leaving Cert results when you got them, by the way? Do you remember that day?
Oh, I do. Oh, it was a mess.
Really?
Absolute mess, yeah.
Why? Because you did well and didn't deserve to?
I did well enough, like, but it's, I just think it's unnecessarily traumatic, the whole thing, to be honest with you. Like, looking back at it now, you can just do a Madonna on it and just reinvent yourself constantly, like, is probably the best advice I could give somebody, because, like, no matter what you get, really, you're grand, like, but it definitely, from my school anyway, it was like this pressure that was built into it was just crazy, like.
Okay, well, you were fronting the band and you were out front without an instrument, and this is the point, so you had to kind of be something out there, because that's the focus is on you, even though the other guys are doing the music or whatever. So did that lead you to, I can do this, I can, even in between song, was there a lot of funny banter stuff, saying I could do this funny banter stuff as a career?
That's interesting, yeah. Maybe. Do you know what? It definitely gave me anyway confidence to be on stage.
Yeah.
Like that was definitely the case, because by the time I started doing drama, like I wanted to do the kind of academic side of it, and I was still thinking, I could do academia, I could maybe teach here or something. I don't know what I wanted to do, to be honest, but I probably secretly wanted to act. And then in the band, you're just up on stage and people are looking at you, and whatever it is, it's performing, isn't it? Like, so yeah, that's actually true. That was the first route into it, like, I suppose.
And then you got a part in the RT show Satitude. That was in the early part of this century.
Yep.
And you were there.
That sounds like ages ago, man. Oh my God. The early part of the century.
Oh my God, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Anyway, where was I? Yes. And then you were there for a few years, right? That was good for what? To show you, I don't know, in front of a camera stuff, is
front of a camera, working with kids. I love kids as well, and it just gave me I suppose I just got the hook really of like doing a bit of kind of tongue-in-cheek comedy stuff and RT stuff and stuff, so then I started chasing that big time.
And then what is Cahoots exactly?
Cahoots is a 3-person troupe. There's myself, Dominic McHale, Laura O'Mahony. It's like a troupe, but it's also a production company as well. So we make the stuff that we get commissioned to do with RT generally. We've made like a couple of web series and a sketch show, and then the school, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and then the RT Storyland competition, and you won.
Yeah, we started that. Well, there was kind of 4, was it like 4 got brought through? I don't think there was any winner as such, but we were one of the 4 that came through, yeah. It was called Ronanism, so that was in 2015. That kind of kicked Cahoots off, I suppose, yeah. And it was called Ronanism. It was about a guy in a relationship with himself, a romantic relationship with himself. And that kind of just put us on the map a little bit with people's awareness of what we were at, I think. So,
right,
yeah.
And then there's a new sketch each and every Wednesday on the Facebook and YouTube pages as well.
Fact.
And are you currently writing the second series now?
Writing the second series, and we're putting together a tour for next year as well. If people want to check out our page, we're touring next year, and I'm writing my own stand-up show as well, so that's hopefully going to be touring next year as well.
Wow, so you have yourself a career, do you?
I think I have myself a career, yeah, and I'm here chatting to you, like.
Indeed, Tadhg.
After you playing me a couple of times back in the day, man. It's all come full circle.
But where does it go from here, says
That's the thing.
Well, listen, Tadhg, the very best of luck with it all. How can people check it out? Where can they find you and what?
So, yeah, it's just like facebook.com/Cahoots, and we have a YouTube Cahoots page as well, and just keep an eye out for, as we say, we're touring nationally next, I think, about February or March, and yeah, so just keep an eye on the pages.
So if the CAOs and all these things, if the right results come on Wednesday, you would say take it, do it. You got to go to college if you can.
Go for the one you're got. All jokes aside, go for the one you're got. Don't do the one that like so and so up the road mam said that you should do, or your own mam said that you should do, whatever. Just go for the one you're got.
Go for the one you're got.
Be true to thine self.
Indeed, absolutely. Tadhg Hickey, listen, thanks a million, Tadhg.
Absolute pleasure.
Good luck.